It's always a curious moment when sports stars find themselves dragged from the limelight into the shadowy corridors of law and order. Cricket, that grand old pastime that prides itself on decorum and a veneer of civility, is no stranger to scandal. If anything, it proves repeatedly that its heroes on the field are often just as adept at making headlines off it. Some of these tales are tragic, others farcical, and still others so surreal that one wonders whether the sport's true legacy lies in the record books or the courtrooms. Take Ben Stokes, for instance, whose arrest in 2017 marked a particularly public moment of professional peril.
Do you mind just loosening that right one on my wrist?
Yep, give me two seconds.
Is that right?
England's star all-rounder found himself in hot water following an altercation outside a Bristol nightclub. What began as a night out turned into an ugly melee captured on CCTV as Stokes, shirtless and swinging, laid into two men in what he later described as a defensive act.
A court heard that Durham and England cricketer Ben Stokes was abusive to a doorman before mocking two gay men leaving a nightclub.
"I stepped in because I felt my friends were in danger," he told the court. The legal process, complete with wall-to-wall media coverage, threatened to derail Stokes's career entirely. Though he was eventually acquitted, his absence from that year's Ashes series was a harsh reminder of the consequences of such off-field actions. Stokes is far from alone in finding that cricket's lofty ideals of gentlemanly conduct often collide with its players' all-too-human failings. In 2015, Indian leg spinner Amit Mishra was arrested following allegations of assaulting a woman in his Bengaluru hotel room. The accusations created a media frenzy, especially as Mishra was in the middle of an India-South Africa series. "These allegations are baseless," Mishra insisted, as the cricketing world debated whether personal indiscretions should affect professional opportunities.
भारतीय क्रिकेट टीम के लेग स्पिनर अमित मिश्रा एक विवाद में फंस गए। मिश्रा पर एक महिला से मारपीट का आरोप लगा। पुलिस ने मामले को दर्ज कर अमित मिश्रा को समन भेज दिया है।
Granted bail, Mishra's cricketing form returned, but the shadow of scandal clung to him like an ill-timed appeal. Of course, few have managed to juggle professional brilliance and personal controversy quite like Shane Warne. The late Australian spinner was a force of nature on the field, but his escapades off it often eclipsed his cricketing triumphs.
6 down for 91. Warne continuing. Oh, and hit the pad. Yes, he's got him. That's out. LBW.
In 2003, Warne found himself at the centre of a scandal involving inappropriate text messages sent to a South African woman. "I'm innocent of any wrongdoing," Warne declared at the time, but the details of his private life rarely left him in peace. From a brief tabloid-fueled relationship with actress Elizabeth Hurley to well-documented affairs, Warne's life was a catalogue of dramas. Cricket Australia, already weary of his antics, suspended him at one point for taking a banned diuretic. Despite his controversies, or perhaps because of them, Warne remained a beloved yet divisive figure in the cricketing world. Former Indian cricketer Navjot Singh Sidhu, now better known as a television personality and occasional politician, has a story that veers sharply into tragedy. In 1988, Sidhu was involved in a road rage incident that resulted in the death of a 50-year-old man, Gurnam Singh.
नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू की करते हैं। पंजाब की कांग्रेस सरकार अपने ही मंत्री सिद्धू को सजा दिलवाना चाहती है। चौंकिए मत, ये सच है।
The altercation reportedly began as a minor argument over traffic, but escalated quickly, with Sidhu accused of striking Singh. "I never meant for anything to happen," Sidhu said years later, though legal proceedings dragged on for decades. Convicted of culpable homicide in 2006, Sidhu faced a harsh sentence, only for the Supreme Court of India to acquit him on appeal in 2018. The case remains a poignant example of how quickly lives can unravel when tempers flare. And then there's Peter Roebuck, a figure as brilliant as he was enigmatic. The English cricketer turned commentator built a second career as one of cricket's most insightful analysts, but his life took a shocking turn in 2011. Arrested in Cape Town on charges of assaulting a young Zimbabwean man,
the former cricketer Peter Roebuck had been accused of assaulting a young Zimbabwean man before he committed suicide at the weekend.
Roebuck's immediate response was to leap to his death from the 6th floor of his hotel. The circumstances of his arrest and his subsequent suicide cast a long shadow over his legacy.
Saturday night, Peter Roebuck leapt to his death from a 6th floor Cape Town hotel room. He'd just been visited by the police. They wanted to arrest him,
with some defending his memory as a troubled genius and others condemning him for the alleged crime. Whatever the truth, Roebuck's story is a reminder of the complexities behind public personas. Luke Pommersbach, an Australian batsman whose brief career coincided with the rise of the Indian Premier League, provided one of cricket's more chaotic headlines in 2012. Arrested for allegedly molesting a woman and assaulting her fiancé during an IPL after-party, Pommersbach was swiftly suspended from the tournament.
Luke Pommersbach, who's been accused in a molestation case, the court today gave him bail after viewing the CCTV footage from the five-star hotel where that incident allegedly took place.
I wasn't in my right mind, Pommersbach later admitted, citing struggles with mental health and addiction. He retired from cricket in 2014, leaving behind a trail of unmet potential and unanswered questions. Cricketers from Pakistan have also had their share of brushes with the law. In 1993, during a West Indies tour, Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunis, and Aqib Javed were arrested for suspected possession of marijuana on a Caribbean beach. The allegations were ultimately dismissed, but not before the players spent several uncomfortable hours in police custody. It was a misunderstanding, Akram later said, though the incident left a lasting impression on fans. The episode was emblematic of cricket's globalization, where players find themselves under scrutiny in unfamiliar legal systems. Bangladesh's cricketing history includes its own share of scandal, most notably involving Shahadat Hossain. In 2015, Hossain and his wife were arrested after their 11-year-old maid accused them of physical abuse.
They hit me everywhere, all over my body. They scratched me and slapped my face.
Hossain, who initially evaded authorities, eventually surrendered and was remanded in custody. "I deeply regret my actions," he said later, though his career never fully recovered from the fallout. The case served as a stark reminder of the broader societal issues that often intersect with cricket. Not to be outdone, Pakistan's Mohammad Asif courted controversy in 2008 when he was detained at Dubai airport for carrying a small amount of opium. Asif, returning from the inaugural IPL season, claimed ignorance about the substance, stating it had been prescribed for energy and blood pressure. "I didn't know what it was," Asif insisted during questioning, though the incident led to a brief detention and much public humiliation. The saga was one of many in Asif's turbulent career, which also included a high-profile spot-fixing scandal in 2010. Rubal Hossain, another Bangladeshi pacer, found himself behind bars in 2015 following rape allegations from an actress who claimed he had broken a promise to marry her. The charges were filed just before the ICC World Cup, creating a media firestorm. Released on bail in time for the tournament, Rubal's performances on the field won public sympathy, and the actress eventually withdrew her complaint.
Goes for hero, bowled in, full and straight. The Bangladesh Tigers have knocked the England Lions out of the...
"I just wanted to focus on my cricket," Rubal said after the case was dropped, though the episode left its scars. Among cricket's many figures, few have wielded as much influence as Imran Khan. The former Pakistani captain, who later ascended to political power as the country's prime minister, has not been without his controversies. Long before his foray into politics, Khan faced legal issues related to alleged ball tampering, though these paled in comparison to his later troubles. In 2023, Khan was arrested on charges of corruption, sparking widespread protests in Pakistan. "This is politically motivated," Khan declared, insisting his innocence. His case became a flashpoint for broader societal tensions, with supporters viewing him as a victim of political machinations, while critics pointed to his tumultuous tenure in office. Imran's story, a blend of cricketing brilliance and political drama, exemplifies the multifaceted lives of cricketers who step beyond the boundary rope. The world of cricket, with its intoxicating mix of fame, fortune, and fanatical adoration, often serves as a crucible for its players. For every triumph on the field, there seems to be a parallel tale of downfall, driven by the same human frailties that make sport so compelling. These stories of cricketers who strayed from the straight and narrow serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that even the most celebrated lives are rarely free of shadows. In the end, cricket remains a game not just of runs and wickets, but of human drama, both glorious and deeply flawed.